Hello everybody. Today I'm gonna talk about chapter 3. Okay? Prisoner of Zenda. It's an abbreviation. So listen carefully. ده ملخص للchapter 3 زي ما عملنا chapter 1 chapter 2 في سجين زندا. أول حاجة بيقول لي suddenly فجأة إيه اللي حصل بقى؟ They entered a poor part of the town where the people were loyal to Duke Mike. Okay? Marshal Strakench, okay, gave an order to his men to enter a poor part of the town. تمام؟ Razendel suspected him because the people were loyal to Duke Michael. طبعا كل الناس في الاولد بورت ده زي ما انا قلت لكم قبل كده كان ولائهم 100% للديوك مايكل. اوكي؟ طيب Razendel told the marshal to tell his soldiers to ride ahead of him. تمام؟ He didn't need the soldiers or the marshal to wait there. كانش عايزهم يستنوا هناك، لا المارشال اللي هو مارشال ستراكنش ولا الايه ولا السولجرز، ما كانش عايزهم يستنوا معاه هناك. سبت looked worried and shook his head. سبت كان قلقان جدا وقعد يهز ايه راسه كده، يعني رافض اللي بيعمله رادولف اللي هو pretended as a king. In the old port of the town. ايه اللي حصل بقى in the old port of the town? The narrow streets were lined with hundreds of people. Razendel saw many paintings of the Duke in their windows. People were surprised that the king was on his own. إن ازاي الملك داخل في وسطينا هنا واحنا ولقنا كله للديوك مايكل لوحده من غير soldiers، من غير المارشال، من غير his friends without. First people talked quietly, but then Razendel started to hear cheering. الناس بدأوا يتهمسوا في الأول، بقى كده سمع الملك بقى إيه التحية بتاعته منهم. أوكي؟ تمام. He could easily hear what the people were saying about him. ده يسمع الناس بتقول عليه إيه. طيب تعالوا نخش بقى على الكورونيشن. إيه اللي حصل في الكورونيشن؟ The golden crown was placed on his head. خلاص اتوج، وده اللي احنا كنا عايزين نوصل له او اللي هم كانوا عاوزين يوصلوا له لحظة التتويج. خلاص اتوج. He was asked to read out some promises. اوكي، طلب منه ان هو يقرا على الشعب بعض الوعود. تمام. Beautiful music was played بقى، حفلة يا جماعة. Someone announced that Rudolph V was now king of Ruritania. خلاص واحد بقى اعلن يا خلاص رادولف is the king of Ruritania. Now Rudolph V is the king of Ruritania. خلاص مايكل بقى، تعالوا نشوف ايه واقع الحدث على مايكل. He finally realized that the king had come to Stills. خلاص. He thought there was something wrong with his plan. في حاجة غلط في الخطة بتاعتي. ازاي الخطة بتاعتي الديرتي جدا دي ما نجحتش. Duke Michael shook hands with Razendel angrily. سلم عليه وبارك له بس بغضب شديد، متضايق ازاي خطته ما نجحتش. He didn't look at Razendel's eyes as he coldly said congratulations like this. يعني بيسلم عليه بمنتهى البرود ومنتهى الغيظ والحقد وبيقول له تهانيئي ليك congratulations. Razendel بقى was a success as a pretend king. تعالوا نشوف ازاي Razendel كان ناجح جدا في ان هو يتظاهر بان هو الملك. Razendel stood in the palace for an hour, okay, as if he had always been a king, greeting the many ambassadors and the important people who came to see him. خلاص بدأ يحيي الامباسادورز وبدأ يحيي الناس اللي هم المهمين جدا اللي جايين عشان ايه؟ عشان يهنوا. Razendel was about to be discovered. كان هيكتشف. طب ازاي بقى؟ تعالوا نشوف كده. He became worried when Lord Topham. لما لورد توفام جاء هو بقى قلقان شويه. لما Lord Topham came to greet him because Razendel knew he was from England. عشان رازندل عارف ان لورد توفم ده مش انجليزي. But his eyes were so poor that he didn't notice Razendel anyway. لكن عينيه كانت ان هي ما قدرتش يعني تتعرف على رازندل. الحمد لله عدى الموضوع بتاع توفم، لورد توفم. Princess Flavia بقى the king's future wife قالت ايه؟ اللي هي الكينج's future wife اللي هي زوجته المستقبلية. He looked different. He looked more tired and serious. He was thinner. خلاص هي بص هي بتقول الحاجات دي عليه ان he looked different. He looked كمان more tired and serious. He was thinner كمان أرفع. He really changed. The people must have appreciated what he did when walked alone in the old part. الناس لازم تقدر قد ايه هو عمل حاجة عظيمة جدا لما مشى في الاولد بارت لوحده. طيب تعالوا نشوف البوينت دي بقى. To leave the palace. To leave the palace. Rudolph needed a permit from the king to leave the city. كان محتاج إذن تصريح من الملك عشان يسيب المدينة ويمشي. Sabt put a form for Rudolph to sign and the king's signature to copy. اوكي ده سبت بقى قال له بص قلد امضة الملك، حاول تقلدها، وحط قدامه ورقة فيها امضة الملك. Razendel refused so Sabt signed it. رازندل رفض يزور امضة الملك، سبت زورها. تمام. After the coronation بقى بعد الكورونيشن ايه اللي حصل؟ Fritz would stay in the palace and tell everyone that the king had gone to bed. Okay? Sabt and Razendel set off through a panel in the wall, okay, which led to a dark passage. تمام. They went down the passage, okay. Sabt unlocked the heavy wooden door at the end of the passage. تمام. They were out of the palace. خلاص خرجوا من البانل، اوكي، وطلعوا خلاص من الايه؟ من البالاس. طيب in disguise تعالوا نشوف ايه اللي حصل. In disguise Razendel tried to stay low on the horse so that no one would recognize him. ينزل كده شويه على الحصان اللي هو راكبه عشان مفيش حد يتعرف عليه خالص لما يشوفه. اوكي. طيب his coat and hat covered his face and hair. الكوت والهات يغطوا وشه. تمام. he took his gun. اوكي. طيب at the city gates بقى ايه اللي حصل في الcity gates؟ Fortunately the guard was not there. ما كانش موجود هناك الجارد الحمد لله على الجيت. ده لحسن الحظ. Sabt gave the girl the signed form to her father when he returned. قال للبنت بنت الراجل اللي هو الجارد خدي البرميشن اهو، اوكي، الممضي بامضة الملك ان ده هيخرج من الجيت واديها لباباكي لما يرجع. تمام. He gave her a coin كمان and took the key from her hand to open the gate. الستيب اللي جايه دي مهمه. On their way back to زندا. ايه اللي حصل في طريقهم؟ طريق العوده بتاعهم لزندا. The wind was blowing towards them, so they could hear the other horses behind them. Sabt put his ear, okay, his ear to the ground to recognize who was following them. Michael and Max were on their way to the castle. تمام. They decided not to go to the lodge for fear of a trap to catch them. طيب at the hunting lodge بقى في البيت بتاع الصيد بتاعهم بقى ايه اللي حصل؟ There were torn and dirty handkerchiefs on the ground. Okay? The door to the cellar was open. There were a lot of things on the floor of the dark room. The king wasn't there. He had been kidnapped by Michael's men. Joseph the Duke's cook was killed. للأسف. طيب again بقى. Again Sabt asked Razendil to continue with the game they started. لو سمحت يا رازندل تعال نكمل الجيم اللي احنا بدأناه. Sabt wanted Razendil to be the king again. خلاص هم فقدوا الأمل في الملك، والملك كده kidnapped، اتخطف، أكيد هيتقتل. اوكي he will be killed. فتعالى لو سمحت، سبت بيترجاه، تعالى نكمل الجيم اللي احنا عملناه. That's it, and like this we have finished our chapter 3. Till we meet again in chapter 4. Okay, with my best wishes. Salam.